Kind of a two-parter for you. First, of course, just recap the performance today, and then secondly, I want to specifically point out Santi with 17 boards. It's kind of been a consistent thing with him rebounding the ball well this year. Is there anything that you've noticed that's kind of led to the rebounding growth that he's shown?
Yeah, I mean, overall, great effort by the group. I thought our point of attack defense was great. Our game plan execution was great, obviously on Simons. Sharp and Grant in particular, but the second chance point definitely hurt us. I mean, we held them to below 40% shooting and got almost 30 points in second chance, so that was definitely a problem tonight that we got to clean up. Obviously, give them credit; they're one of the tops in offensive rebounding, but we could have done a whole lot better job there. But game plan was great. I thought we did a good job offensively, trying to play with great pace. I thought Ja, had a huge spark. A lot of different guys again, just with multiple assists, just the ball movement. It's just something that we're just continuing to press upon them, and they're responding. And then with Santi, just love the effort. I mean, steadily, that's something that we're challenging with every single day, just the physicality. It's on both sides of the floor. Defensive rebounding, he can be a beneficiary a lot of times, swooping in and rebound, from the weak side. And then offensively, I think he had like 6 or 7 offensive rebounds tonight, and that's a huge part that is a instinctual thing in his game, and that aids us when we create second chance opportunities, with his size and his knack for going in there on the boards offensively. So continuing to translate that to the defensive side, just want to even continue to challenge him more. 17, I hope we can get that every single night from him, but it's got to be that mentality.
Taylor, Ja has come back from absences before, and he never seems to ease his way back into anything. I mean, what is it about him that allows him to just get back to peak performance so quickly?
Well, I mean, he works his tail off, throughout the return to play process. He loves this game. He misses being out there, but I think I said it to someone before the game. Just his engagement, even when he's out. Y'all didn't get to see the work that he's putting in. I mean, this past week was some of the best work I'd seen, from him in a return to play process. I mean, because he wants to be out there so badly. His engagement with his teammates, his voice in the locker room, in the film sessions, on the sidelines, he was chomping at the bit to get out there. And then he and I were talking on the side about, okay, what's this going to look like in 2 weeks from now? I mean, we were talking 2 weeks ago about the things he was doing well, what he can correct, what he can get better at, where the team's head space is at, what we got to do better just as a team. He was, translating that to the guys, throughout the game. So he was just locked in, the last, 3-ish weeks. So he loves the game. He put in the work, and this is no shock, him coming out first game back, the impact he made with the pace of play. I thought he did a phenomenal job on Simons defensively, held him to 5 points. His point of attack defense definitely set a tone for us as well tonight.
I know you probably hope that you guys play the same way every game, but is there a energy or a vibe difference when all of the stars are available, Ja, Dez, and Jaren?
I mean, I don't want to just encapsulate and say it's only going to be one way when it's those 3 guys. I mean, I think the vibe's been great all season long. Obviously, you definitely, look at, someone missing in the lineup, at different pockets throughout this early portion of the season. But I think the energy's been great off the court, in the locker room, how we're approaching every single day, the conversations, the evolution of these guys, these 3 guys, leaders of our team. I think the practice vibe has been great. I said since the beginning of training camp how we've challenged these guys even more with our work. The intensity, the intent with what we're doing, and those guys are setting a tone for us every single day. So obviously, I mean, it's a blessing to have those 3 guys out there every single night. I think this is a great opportunity for us to build some chemistry. I mean, we're deep now. Obviously, missing, Vince and Gigi and Zach, and but these guys right now, I've got a lot of confidence. As we talked about before the game, difficult decisions, but trying to lean into our depth right now, and everyone can make a imprint on the winning recipe for us.
Hey, Coach, it's no coincidence. Your 3-point defense has been better over the last 5 to 6 games. What would you attribute that to?
A couple different things. I mean, I think our discipline and our closeout's been a little bit better. I mean, there's some times where we're not getting out there with urgency, or we're not pressing upon them. I think a lot of it's our point of attack defense. I mean, I give a lot of credit in recent games to, Scotty and Jalen. Obviously, we know what Marcus is capable of. Challenging Dez even more. I think Luke's doing a pretty good job. Going to challenge him more, and you see what Ja can do. Tonight when he takes on Simons, who's a dynamic scorer. So when we can have a tone-setting, mentality at the beginning, it engages the rest of the guys. We've been talking about that a lot. I think it just kind of throws off teams' rhythms. We're on them. From the start to the end, from the beginning of the possession, 94 feet kind of mentality. And then our rotations have gotten a little bit better too. So I'm going to keep a mindful, eye on it. When our shifts, get a little lax and all that at times. But if we have the discipline in our shifts and our urgency out to the 3-point line, we can, impact shooters with great contests.
Taylor, so this season, I think Brandon Clarke shooting career best, like 80-something% from at the rim, but also lowest frequency of his career. But the past 2 games, 6-6 the other game, and then 5 for 7 tonight. Do you think he's just finding his rhythm and his spots more in this new offense to where he's getting the looks that the BC that we've seen before has gotten?
Yeah, I mean, I think the last 2 games in particular, a couple more pick and roll finishes. Obviously he's lethal in the pick and roll game. You get the lob, you get the late pass from Jonathan to highlight plays there, just passing in traffic, and that's where he has a lot of success. But yeah, new system. How he's playing on the perimeter, he's cutting a little bit more. Offensive rebounding leads to his finishes as well. Playing in the dunker spot, and then running the floor. So I think he can still play to his strengths. He's just kind of figuring out how he's getting the frequency in those different areas a little bit more. And I think the last 2 games showcase an example of it's not just the pick and roll. It can be how he runs, how he cuts off the ball, how he can go and get it off of the boards. Because there's a lot of faith in him that when he gets it, he can be really efficient when he's in that paint area.
I assume a lot of it depends on availability of players, but you went 11 deep again today. Is that the ideal number, you think, for you guys?
I'm not worried about the number. I'm worried about the intent with how we play. I'm watching our pace. When we got to throw fresh bodies in there from a defensive standpoint, from an offensive standpoint. We talk about keeping the engine running. I mean, that's huge for us, and it's not just one side of the floor. It's not just our offensive ability. So, I'm studying the 11 right now, and it's kind of like a brand new team. You bring, John Marcus back, and I was still trying to figure out some of the combinations and the rhythm. I mean, you look at Scottie Pippen, what an ultimate pro. Guy goes from scoring 30 and 10. He's, primary starter for a couple weeks here, and then he comes off the bench, only plays 14, but makes an impact. And I know he's competitive, heck, and wants to be out there as much as possible. But that's a testament to these guys being able to adapt. The role is going to be what the role is. Got to go out there and play whatever the minutes are distributed, and you got to play with the intent and the energy and the intensity that we need.
Coach, right here. Triple J finished with the second most points in the game with 21. 12 of those came in the fourth quarter. Can you just talk about the impact he made, especially with Ayton not being available for Portland?
Yeah, I mean, diverse scoring ability, paint touches, 3-point shots, free throws, bringing the ball up, just when he's moving without the ball, I think that puts him in a lot of, unguardable situations for him. We didn't put him in as many pick and rolls. I think there was one great one with him and Ja on a seal, and he got an and one. We're just trying to get him to play in space as much as possible. And then, rebound and blocking shots, that's the stuff that we need him to do every single night. They were being aggressive with him. He was playing through contact, and that could be frustrating, but he's making winning plays, chase down blocks, trying to make an impact on the defensive side. He was staying locked in throughout the entire time, using his voice. The points are there. I mean, he's having a stellar start to the season, but I love the impact he's making on both sides and just in adjusting to this new system with a lot of just playmaking out of space. Great. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it.